Everyone, I'm here to catch up with you guys because I've been gone for a while and there has been a lot happening in the sky that I just really want to talk about. So first of all, we had a Venus gate when the Venus and Moon conjunct in Capricorn on the 7th. And this was the Venus gate of the sacral chakra. And holy cow, did I feel that one. It really was an invitation to release so much from our womb space. And you think about this Capricornian energy, it's like our relationship to hierarchical structures, all of the trauma and everything that we've been carrying from this past. And I use the P word so sparingly because I feel like it gets overused a lot, but it's completely relevant in what I'm talking about right now. But it's like the patriarchal institutions, sort of like top down, like this sort of like stern father figure, you're doing this wrong, that kind of attitude. That is what this last Venus gate was welcoming us to let go of from our sacral chakras. And this is where we hold a lot of emotions. This is our creative space. And what's interesting as well is like, with all of these different transits, we're at this huge turning of the age. And the age has been turning and turning and turning and turning. Everything's always turning. But there's so much intensifying right now that's really showing us the end of a cycle and the beginning of another one. And I feel like I say this almost every time I do a reading because there is a microcosm of endings and beginnings in every moment, right? But then there's a macrocosm. And I like to look at the macrocosm and try to gauge sort of like, where are we in that process? And I think the macrocosm is probably even bigger than I could even ever grasp. But, my human brain likes to try to. So what's cool about this turning of the age is we had an Aquarius new moon on the 9th. And this helped usher in the Chinese New Year of the Wood Dragon. And the Chinese New Year of the Wood Dragon is also ushering in a new 20-year cycle that is it's called like a period 9. You can learn more about Chinese astrology from Vicky Iskandar from, on Instagram, she's 5 Elements Oracle. She does Chinese astrology and she has an oracle deck all about it. I don't have it yet. I think I need to get it. But I love watching her videos and learning more about the elements related to astrology and the different animals of the Chinese zodiac. So this is like the dragon brings in so much powerful energy and a lot of healing energy. And again, a lot of endings and beginnings. You picture the Ouroboros. And what I think is so interesting too is like we had the new moon on the 9th. Next we've got on the 19th, we have Chiron and Aries conjunct. And we're entering this 9 period. So, 9 is like the end, 1 is the beginning, and all the numbers really are showing just so much of that. I'm sure a lot of you saw I had to say goodbye to my little best friend Chappie, my little dog. And so many people in my life have been experiencing death and loss, and it's a hard time, but my loss in particular was so beautiful as well. And I feel like a lot of what I experienced is shown in the astrology, of course, but a lot of lessons that I learned, I think, are what are coming up on the horizon for a lot of us if we haven't already sort of learned, or we can always improve too, right? So with Chiron conjuncting the North Node in Aries, this is really trying to help us learn how to hold space for ourselves and learn how to allow our wounds to arise, to be healed. And as we do that, we're able to help others as well. And so I feel like I just went through this whole portal of learning more about sacrifice. I used to be so resentful of the idea of sacrifice, and I developed a new understanding of it. There's a difference between sacrificing from an empty cup versus sacrificing from a full cup, or being of service from a full cup. And I think that I used to always associate sacrifice with serving from nothing, and that's not good, right? And sometimes that's what we have to do to learn. But I really was able to go through this whole transitional process and be able to take care of myself and set boundaries with myself, to do my best not to overgive. And I was so much more well equipped to hold a healing space. And I think that that's what all of us are being called to do, is to really look within on our own journeys and see where we need to help ourselves or heal ourselves, whether it be having more discipline about what you know you need to do for your own health or your own life or your own goals, as well as making sure we're having fun and breaking it up a little bit. It's like trying to find this balance. And speaking of balance, soon we have Venus and Mars conjunct in Aquarius on the 22nd. And this feels like with this Chiron North Node conjunction, Venus and Mars coming together, all these planets joining the party in Aquarius, it's just, with Pluto's transit into Aquarius as well, it's just this huge transformational healing energy. And sometimes healing begins with a crisis, and other times following that crisis or that healing process you've been through before, whatever else life throws at us, we're a little bit better equipped, to handle it. And I think even a lot of us are probably more well equipped now to assist others as well. And I think that the assisting is not about fixing other people or telling them what to do, but more about being able to hold space for them and reflect. This is that like Aries Libra axis that the nodes are in right now. Libra is the mirror and Aries is the self. And so there might also be like a lot of projections, like people might be projecting their stuff on you. You might notice yourself projecting on other people, but it's just like this time to take this Aquarian witness perspective and detach a little bit to just kind of see where everything is going. And another thing I'm really feeling is just more of a divine flow. Since Pluto moved out of Capricorn, it feels like we're opening up more to just allowing spirit to run through us and letting go so much to our how our ego tells us it needs to look, and having a lot more surrender. And I think there's a cool invitation here to invite magic into your life and to just ask spirit for signs, ask them for the next step, and allow it to show up in the world around you. Allow it to come through songs on the radio or certain animals out your window, or just keep your eyes and your ears open, because we know the feminine has been rising, and that feminine aspect is our intuition and our feelings in the more internal world. And I'm really seeing with these conjunctions coming up, as well as the next full moon in Virgo at the end of the month, there's a big healing of the masculine. the masculine, we've been so focused on the feminine for a while, and now it's time to take what we've learned and really start helping heal our own masculine. And I think that sometimes we want to go heal the masculine, in our relationship or something like that. But I really feel like it's more about healing it within ourselves. It always comes back to the self. And so I wanted to pull some cards. I know it's kind of like skipping around a lot there, but first I want to pull, oh, you know what? I forgot to bring my rose deck. That's okay though. I am going to pull a card for my Tree of Life deck for the Venus gate. I want to see what message comes up for that Venus gate from the cards. Venus gate of the sacral chakra in Capricorn from the Tree of Life. Oh wow, the Chariot. Determination, discipline, concentration. Look at that. Look at her. And look, she has the lotus right in the center there. And there's the Cancer sign over her womb space, which is interesting because when we have Chiron and Aries conjunct, the moon will be in Cancer, which I think is really interesting because it's an invitation to release, like to really let our tears flow and to go within and like be a little bit more internal and get clear about where it is we're headed and how we're aligning with our divine destiny and what we're creating from that sacral chakra. And also I can't help but think about the middle path with this card, seeing the white horse and the black horse. And it's so much about embracing our shadow and also releasing some of the resistance that we've had towards what we think is good or bad. Just kind of releasing, letting Jesus take the wheel, as they say, like with the Chariot. My friend Beverly pointed out, like, they're not holding reins usually. She is. She's got one hand on the reins and one hand on a spear. It's very warrior-like, right? But it's usually about allowing the divine will to guide you. So even in the experience I just had, like a couple days ago, I had an idea of how I wanted everything to look with Chappie's passing, and I had to let go of it. I had to surrender, and I had to be flexible and do things a different way. And it unfolded to be the right way because it just was so peaceful and perfect. And so that taught me a lot. It taught me that sometimes we need to stick to our guns, and sometimes we have to be flexible and open our minds to a different way and to have more compassion for ways that we have labeled wrong or have judged, That was a really interesting lesson for me, and really healing too, because honestly, over the past 4 years, I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I'm sure some of you do. I've felt a lot of and I know this is past life related, but I've felt sort of traumatized around allopathic medicine and doctors and pharmaceutical industry and all of that. The past 4 years made me want to be like, fuck no, get away from me. Keep that away from me. That's how I felt, right? But this whole situation, I had to soften a little bit and open my mind again to see that we live in a different era, and we kind of have to accept the new things that come with advancement in technology. And we can still have our own principles and things like that. And still, we can't get too fixed in what our opinions and our principles are. We have to stay open-minded and go with the flow. So I wanted to pull a card from my Atlantis deck for the Aquarius new moon, because I always think of Atlantis with Aquarius. I got 2 cards. Ancient ones respect the elders, and guardians protect, serve, and defend. This is the I've been feeling so many ancient codes coming in with all of the solar flares, and this protect, serve, and defend card is so interesting because there's sort of a dual message that we are protected. This looks like Zeus right here to me, Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Taurus right now, and I keep getting the message that Jupiter, the earth is our teacher. Jupiter's a teacher. He's in Taurus, the earth sign. The elements are our teachers. The earth is our teacher right now. And even though things might be kind of crazy, I'm noticing this like lightning and the sun on his garments. We are protected. Woo! Here we go. And see if there's anything else I'm feeling with these. Respect the elders. There's something so interesting with with this change from Pluto from Capricorn to Aquarius. It feels kind of like there can be this energy where we just want to like take off with the new, and I think that these cards are kind of reminding us to honor what's been as well, and again, like I was saying earlier, like staying open, because there's a lot of wisdom that people with more experience than us hold, you know, even if they may not see things as like futuristically. I feel like it's just that card is reminding us not to throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing, and to honor everybody at all their different stages. And let me see, I wanted to see, we're at the Dragon New Year. Let's see what dragon wants to come forward. I also have my Avalon deck out for this because Avalon carries that dragon energy, and I feel that, this Aquarian energy really is like a recapitulation of times. That's what I always feel with Aquarian energy, or at least this Aquarian energy, like the current Aquarian energy. Who knows what it was like in the past, but let's see what dragon is here for us. Green gold dragon from Sirius brings universal knowledge to your spiritual pathway. Learn about spiritual technology. Be a transmitter of sacred knowledge. How cool is that? So this brings me back to the elders, and what I'm also feeling again from this card is you're protected to step out. There's like a big energy of stepping into your full authentic self, coming out of the closet, and I just see so many people's hearts being open to receive more heartfelt messages, and it just feels like humanity's arms are opening, to receive this ancient wisdom that we all hold within us, and that we can especially access through nature and through the earth. Let's see what comes from my Avalon deck. Oh, that fell out. Oh, the Sacred Grove, nature, protection, longevity, renewal. And there's the owl, the wisdom, and look at the little stag in the background. It's important to take some space for yourself. Again, coming back to that Chiron and North Node in Aries. You replenish, you go back out. You replenish, you go back out. And some people are actually going to be really going into a cave right now too. And let's see who else wants to speak. I want to show you guys this card I pulled this morning. My friend Carrie gave me this Earth Warriors Oracle deck that by Alana Fairchild, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I love Alana's work. And I pulled the Pachamama card. Look how gorgeous this card is. I'm noticing the sacral focus and all of these gorgeous power animals and the divine feminine phases of the moon all around her. And it says, she with the Andean emerald heart. See the hummingbird in her heart. And I'll read the beginning of this card, because I'm like, really, I'm just feeling this huge like call to connect with nature. I'm always feeling that, but it's like so important these days because of things quickening and speeding up, and also so many codes. There's so many codes like in the earth, coming from the earth, the sun. Not that you wouldn't get them if you weren't out there, but it's like even more powerful and impactful and so regulating for the nervous system. So Pachamama, the goddess of the earth, honored by the indigenous peoples of the Andes, holds space for many different creatures to live within her field, including the beautiful, dangerous, and divine humanity. She knows that life thrives through diversity. She is able to foster life with such genius and generosity because there's no fear preventing her from holding space for the new to emerge. Be open to the new and the different in yourself and your life. Trust, like the Earth Mother, as an act of devotion. She is watching over you as you evolve to manifest the fullness of your sacred and original life purpose. Yeah, so that's just the beginning of that card, but that really reiterates this energy that's coming through. I want to ask Kali, and this is so wild. I don't know if any of you watched my last reading, or it might have been a couple of them ago, and I said Kali was coming into my life, and I remember saying, I don't know. I was like, she either comes to clear something out of your pathway, like something's about to like be cleared like in a dramatic way, or she comes just to clear the obstacles so you can really align with your sacred purpose. And I said, like, fingers crossed, I think for me it's the second one or whatever. Like, I was like hoping I didn't have to go through some big initiation or loss, and what do you know, I did. But it was all good. It was, I'll just share a little bit more about that too. Astrologically, there were so many Jupiter placements in my chart while I was going through this with Chappie. And it was such a gift, honestly. It was such a gift. He was such a teacher. And I think, again, it comes back to the earth and the animals. They really are our teachers. Because they just have that unconditional love. It's that unconditional motherly love. And if we all could have more of that for ourselves, we could have it for a lot more people in our lives too. And then as I say that, I'm feeling Mars come in. Like, you gotta protect that as well, is what I'm hearing. So I want to see what Kali has to say about this Mars energy, this Mars and Venus conjunction that's coming up. Let's see. Woo. Hope you guys don't mind my tenderness. I just really wanted to show up today, and this is where I'm at. So just allowing it to be okay. Ooh. Perfect. Chamunda. I pulled this card recently, and this energy represents like an erect penis. It represents that like power to rise and to pull yourself out of emotional turmoil and pull yourself out of the cycles of, I just see like something going down the drain like over and over and over. And it's interesting to think about how the moon will be in Cancer when we have this Chiron North Node conjunction. Coming back to that before we get to Venus and Mars, actually, because sometimes Cancer can get kind of stuck in the past, and this Mars and Venus conjunction is really going to invite us to start moving forward and stepping out of our victim mindset and stepping out of the old more and more. And I feel like it's also going to help us stop pointing the finger as much, you know, like projecting our own stuff or blaming things on people. Like how I was saying earlier, I realize the patriarchy is a thing, but I try not to use that terminology so much, or I don't feel so much rage towards it, because it's like all of these cycles happen for a reason, and all of them happen for us to learn from and to strengthen from, and they're all natural. It's natural for things to fall away, and the feminine had fallen away. And now it's natural for things to rise back up, and the feminine is rising back up. So I'll read the very beginning of this card, actually, just to get even a little bit more clarity. Chamunda 31. Her unerring instinct for spiritual protection arises spontaneously, even when we do not realize we need it. Sometimes we don't realize just how far we've become entangled in that which is not good for us. We do not realize we need Kali's powerful intervention. Knowing what to allow and what to fight for or against requires wisdom. Holding the space for an inner or outer conflict to be resolved involves discipline. Chamunda is the fearlessness, wisdom, patience, and discipline needed to conquer a difficult situation. She is with you now. So I'm really feeling like she's here to help us step out of situations that aren't aligned anymore. And if we don't, those situations end somehow anyway, but it can be a lot less painful if we make the decision to step out of it, step away from it, let it go ourselves, you know, which isn't always the way it goes, but it's an invitation to look at your life and see what needs to change, what needs to be let go of, what do you need to pursue, and there's protection in that. You're always protected with that change, you know. Change is kind of scary, but it's a part of life. And then I want to pull one more card. I might pull two more, we'll see. I wanted to pull one from my Kuan Yin deck. I'm feeling her around the dragon energy and the Chinese New Year. So I wanted to see what message Kuan Yin has for us. Let's see, Kuan Yin. Oh, shining lotus. Gorgeous. And I've had that lotus come up in with like for some symbolism of the Aquarian energy. I had a tea ceremony with my friends Stevie and Lacey, and in the ceremony we drank blue lotus tea, and I saw myself as the lotus, and I saw myself anchored in the mud, and then my face as the lotus above the water, and I just observed the sky and the birds and the dragonflies, and I allowed the dragonflies and the bees to come to me and to bring me the information. It was a much more feminine way of being, and there was a lot of strength in it too, because to have a stem that's constantly submerged in water, there's a certain strength there to not just have it dissolve, right? So I feel like this card is so much about finding your center, again, coming back to that sacred grove again and again to take care of the self, so that we can navigate all of the changes that are coming forward, and to regroup and like get our divine guidance, and just allow ourselves to be a little bit more magnetic than rushing out to just like make it happen. Maybe that's some of the healing we're bringing to our Mars, to our masculine energy. And you know, some of us actually need more of that. So it's more of a rebalancing in whichever direction you need more of. Is it more action or is it more surrender? That's something that could be good to reflect on. Okay, last card. This has been a long one. There's been so much to catch up on, and I could even go further, but I'm going to wait till the full moon to talk about some more of this stuff. Okay. What do we want to ask at the very end here? Give us a card to wrap it up. How about that? Woo! I just had a bunch fly out. Let me just shuffle one more time. Ooh, that symbol. Antakarana. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. This is all about connecting with your higher self. And I'm loving this Holy Trinity it kind of represents, as well as like the motion of the sun. I'm going to look it up. There's the flower of life. There's a hexagon. There's 2 circles. They're not quite making the Vesica Pisces, but I'm feeling that energy of masculine and feminine coming together. Let's see, 26. Bridge. The Antakarana is an ancient healing and meditation symbol that has been used in Tibet and China for thousands of years. It is the part of the spiritual anatomy that connects the physical brain and the higher self. It is a bridge of light that aids in your connection to higher dimensions. It is said that the Antakarana has its own consciousness, and that merely being in its presence will raise a person's vibration and assist in healing and personal evolution. Connecting with the higher self will offer insights into virtually any question or inquiry you may have. The Antakarana may be seen as a direct link between your thoughts and your intuitive nature. It is the result of the interaction between matter and consciousness. Meditate with this shape, relax deeply, and give attention to your breath. Sit quietly and open to intuition and insight. Let this time act to strengthen the connection between thought and intuition. Realize the capacity for growth and healing you already possess. The answer to your inquiry will come through your ability to bridge the material world and the realm of spirit. You may wish to make a copy of this shape and place it on your altar, beside your computer, or in your healing space. Whenever you notice it, acknowledge your connection to higher self and the wisdom that is always available through that communication. I love that. And in the reversed position, it asks, have you lost your connection? Remind yourself to merge each day with the wisdom of your higher self. So there's definitely a lot of messages here about having the discipline to take time for ourselves. And it's like self-care is it's not a privilege, it's a necessity, especially just with everything changing so rapidly in the world. So I'd love to know how you guys are doing. If any of this energy is showing up for you, if you're making any changes in your life. And I'm going to pull one more card. You guys I hope you're laughing. If you're even still here. I pulled out the Starseed deck. Because I feel that energy a lot too with Aquarius. And let's see what the what the stars have to share with us around this new moon, new year, new you, same you, the real you. Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. Love it. I feel like it's been the same messages coming up since the full moon. It's pretty interesting. It's just, again, as things just shift so much, being in touch with the earth and slowing down, taking care of ourselves is so important. And you know what I feel also? It's sort of like we're breaking out of this programming of do, and that's what's productive, to actually, when we rest, that can be super productive, and we can open ourselves up to receive so much more creativity and energy and ways to create sustainably. So I really feel that as well with all of this energy. So happy new year to you guys, and happy new moon. And my heart just goes out to all of you who are who might also be experiencing big changes like I am myself. But just to know that you know, the times are changing, and it's time to just allow ourselves to trust and surrender. And there's a lot of beautiful stuff on the way. It might be a little bit bumpy in the outside world, but this is the time we all came here for. Like, if you're listening to this video, you came here to be here to assist during this time. And it's not even, you know, the assisting doesn't even have to necessarily look like how, I don't know, I used to always think it looked a certain way, like having to be a spiritual healer or something, which obviously is awesome and we need that. But it can also be, as my dog taught me, as simple as just smiling at someone and just being kind, you know? So, love you guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. See you later.